Hey guys, I upgraded my vlogging setup after I dropped my camera last year.
Long time. Yeah.
So I went with the Canon G7X Mark II. And so for 3 months, this little guy went with me across the country and took thousands of video clips, hundreds of photos, and here are my thoughts. Honestly, I could spend a lot of time talking about all the features of this camera, but I think you'll find it more valuable on how I use it on my bike tours. The main feature that sold me on this camera was the flip screen. This flip screen allows you to flip it up and help you frame your shot and provides multiple ways of viewing your shot at various angles. You can shoot from above and have the screen facing down for you to view. You can use it as a follow camera at a lower angle to capture a different perspective. This little camera has a plethora of features that makes it a very capable travel camera for its size. There are multiple modes on this camera that is found on bigger mirrorless or DSLR cameras like manual mode, aperture priority, shutter priority, they call it TV here, and program mode. You switch modes using dials on top of the camera. The power, exposure, and zoom controls are up there as well. I usually have mine in video mode or aperture priority for photos. It also features a 24 to 100 millimeter optical zoom. 24 millimeter allows for perfect vlog quality shots. The dial around the lens allow you to do multiple things. It'll help you zoom in and out in auto modes and adjust the f-stops in aperture mode. We're talking about an f-stop of 1.8, which is perfect for low light filming. And if you wanted more of a professional look where the foreground is, focused and the background is kind of blurry, it's perfect for that. And then there's the f-stop of 11, which is great for natural outdoor settings. Another feature I use a lot is wireless viewing and controlling using my iPhone. This is great to share photos on social media and for taking photos wirelessly. Unfortunately, you can't control video recordings yet. It weighs in about 11.4 ounces. It's heavier than the smaller point and shoot cameras, but lighter than many cameras with equivalent features. It's smaller in length compared to both iPhones, but makes up for it in thickness with the collapsed lens. I typically have my camera strapped to the side of my belt or in a handlebar bag. I would flip up the screen, turn the power on, and hit the record button in the back. And that's all it takes for me to shoot my scene. The flip screen allows me to check and make sure that I'm in the shot. I love the facial recognition feature where it actively tracks people's face so to remain focused on them. I also like to use a tripod and let it run for times when I want to show you how I'm doing something, like putting up a tent or setting up my bike. I especially like the Joby GorillaPod for this. There are several issues with this camera that I wish Canon would address in their next version for my own personal use case. This is actually a second camera. The first was ruined by dust and gunk between the lens due to the nature of being outdoors. There were permanent dots on the screen which ruined the pictures or shot. I bought an ND filter to help cover the lens area to reduce the possibility of getting dirt and sand in it again. Also, I picked up a dedicated camera case instead of using my handlebar bag. The video record button is this tiny little red button here. It's easily accessible if you're shooting forward towards a subject, but impossible to handle with one hand while you're in vlogging mode and the screen flipped up. It would be great if there's another way to activate record from the vlogging mode. Unfortunately, the camera only has 2 ports, an HDMI out and USB connector. It would be great if they allow you to attach an external microphone. The mic is found on top of the camera and the quality is okay to say the least. You'll need one of these fuzzy patches to help deflect the wind noise. When you're using a tripod, you can't open the battery door to swap out a battery without removing the tripod. This is so annoying, especially when you have the camera ready for a shot. Why can't they move it over a few more millimeters? Let's put this camera in my gear review evaluation principle. Number 1, did they execute on their vision? Number 2, was the product innovative? And number 3, is it ergonomically sound in my own personal life, how I use it for bike touring? I believe Canon did a great job in targeting a market that has been growing for the last couple of years. the YouTubers, and the vloggers. There are only a few cameras out there that has this great flip screen, and it's packed with so many rich features that are very useful. I give it a 5 out of 5 for the vision that they set out for this product. The way I use it isn't any different from the way everybody else uses it, but I might be outdoors more. The primary competitor of the Canon G7X Mark II is the Sony RX100 Mark V. The feature sets of both of these cameras are very similar, except that the Sony actually shoots in 4K and the Canon doesn't. Also, the Sony performs better in low light, but at a markup of $200 more. I wasn't looking for a 4K camera at the time when I was looking for the replacement, and the Sony seemed a little less rugged than the Canon here. I mean, the Canon had this rubberized piece right here, and the camera itself seemed like it was more of a camera I would take out there and shoot in the real world. So for innovation, I give it a 4 out of 5 because the Canon and the Sony had really similar feature set, except that the Canon actually has touchscreen and the Sony didn't. As for ergonomics, I can only give it a 3 out of 5 stars for this camera, with the many issues like having no external mic input, awkward recording button, the battery door not opening with the tripod installed, and dirt getting into my lens ruining the camera. I really can't give it anything higher than a 3. I do hope Canon addresses some or all of my issues I have with this camera, but I'm not actually holding my breath. If you're thinking about picking up this camera for yourself, I would recommend a few accessories. Get a ND filter to protect the lens. Mine is a 42mm from Mag Filter. Get a screen protector. I'm using the Afunta 2-pack anti-scratch. Get an extra battery. I prefer to pick up manufacturer's batteries instead of generic. They just work better in my experience. The G7X uses NB-13L. Get a case to carry your camera. I'm using an Amazon Basic large point and shoot camera case. Plenty of space and pockets for extra battery and SD card storage. Get high quality SD cards. And finally, buy yourself windscreen covers to cut wind noise. These little stickers will go a long way to producing better noise quality while you're out on your tour. I hope you found this review useful. There are like hundreds of different videos out there that goes through the features of this camera in detail, but there wasn't anything that had a bike touring perspective, and so that's why I wanted to make this one for you guys. Let me know what you think about this review in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe for more bike touring related information. And until next time, make sure you get out there and discover your ride.